Most Heavenly Eternal God, as we come before your presence this morning, we just want to thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for good weather, and thank you for letting all of us get here accident-free. Please take over the proceedings today and let whatever is said and done be to the benefits of everyone here today and also all the citizens and residents of Antigua and Barbuda. In your name I pray, amen. Please be seated. His Lordship, the Honorable Mr. Mario Michel, Acting Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Honorable High Court Judges and Master of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, the Honorable Sir Stedroy Benjamin, Attorney General and Minister responsible for Legal Affairs, Labor, Immigration and the Police, Ms. Janice Michael, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Legal Affairs, Ms. Veronica Thomas and other magistrates present, Mrs. Michelle John Tibbles, Chief Registrar of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Mr. Keodi Ahmad, Deputy Registrar of the High Court of Justice, Mr. Gregory Girard, Court Administrator of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Mrs. Sharissa Roberts Thomas, President of the Antigua and Barbuda Bar Association, and other members of the bar present, Mr. Albert Wade, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Ms. Tammy Gage, Court Administrator, High Court of Justice, staff of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court Headquarters and the Antigua and Barbuda High Court, members of the bar, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my honor to extend a warm welcome to you all. Your presence here today is a testament to the importance of the launch and media briefing of another milestone event in our court's history. Today we embark on a new chapter in transforming our courts. We are taking a significant step forward by launching the Ecsc litigation portal for new criminal proceedings filed in the High Court. This is a momentous occasion, and Honorable Chief Justice and the Ecsc team are happy that it is no longer in the pipeline but now a reality. Since its inception, the Ecsc litigation portal has transformed how the court provides access to justice. This launch marks another milestone in the court's journey towards enhancing access to justice across its member states and territories. We are honored to have the media present with us today. Your partnership with the court in disseminating vital information to our stakeholders is invaluable. We sincerely appreciate your role and are confident that you will help us spread the word about the numerous benefits that the portal will continue to bring to the administration of justice in Antigua and Barbuda for all citizens and residents. We have a very distinguished group of speakers here today, and our first speaker, Mrs. Sharissa Thomas, is a legal practitioner with over 22 years of experience. She was admitted to practice law in England and Wales in 2001 and subsequently in Antigua and Barbuda in 2002, after completing the legal education certificate at the Norman Manley Law School in Jamaica. In 2010, she founded C. Roberts Thomas and Associate as a sole practitioner and currently practices with one associate. Mrs. Thomas is a certified mediator with a certificate in Bible and Theology and an MBA. She is the current president of the Antigua and Barbuda Bar Association and will bring brief remarks on behalf of the bar. Please make her welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, His Lordship, Chief Justice Mario Michel, Acting, resident judges, ministry officials, magistrates, courts, staff of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, distinguished guests, permit me to adopt the protocols so ably established. It is an honor to speak to you today about an important advancement in our judicial system, the implementation of the criminal e-litigation portal. This innovation represents a significant step forward in the administration of justice specifically in the realm of criminal law, and it brings considerable benefits to all major stakeholders, including the judiciary, practitioners, court personnel, and the general public. The concept of the administration of justice communicates the process by which the legal system of a government is executed, the goal being to provide justice for all those accessing the legal system. Access to justice is a basic but essential feature of the rule of law, one of which necessitates improvements to align with the advances of modern technology through the implementation of systems and mechanisms geared towards efficiency. In October 2019, the e-litigation portal was launched for the Civil Division of the Court in Antigua and Barbuda. The portal became operational on 1st January 2020. This was a most timely endeavor, as we are all aware that the COVID-19 pandemic brought the entire world to a halt shortly thereafter. Due to the previous shift from paper to online filings and file management, the impact on the wheels of justice was minimized, and instead of inordinate delays, the court was able to navigate the pandemic with little disruption and emerge from the crisis with minimal case delays in the Civil Division. In October 2022, the e-litigation portal was launched for the implementation in family matters. This technology ensures that critical information is processed swiftly, allowing cases to move efficiently through the family court. The ease of cross-referencing of case information has also proved a useful tool to the court in adjudicating matters. Today, we are here to witness the court's continued commitment towards efficiency and ultimately the administration of justice. As a matter of course, all criminal proceedings are initiated in the magistrate's court, and those matters which exceed the threshold of the jurisdiction of that court, indictable matters, are processed in the magistrate's court through committal proceedings, and ultimately determined by the High Court at the Assizes. Both processes require the filing and disclosure of documents, which would create a physical file in each case. The implementation of the e-litigation portal within the criminal jurisdiction of the court will undoubtedly deliver similar advantages as it does in both civil and family divisions. Permit me briefly to elaborate on some of the benefits and advantages to practitioners within the criminal justice system. It is anticipated that long waits for hearings, time-consuming paperwork, and extended timelines for filing documents will be significantly reduced. Criminal practitioners will now be able to file documents, make submissions, and track cases in real time without the need to visit court buildings or wait in line to submit physical documents. Further, practitioners can access case files, legal documents, and evidence from anywhere at any time. This level of access will prove invaluable, particularly for legal professionals who are managing multiple cases and need to juggle their work on the go. The result is a more streamlined system that enables practitioners to focus on substantive legal work and the delivery of quality legal representation rather than administrative hurdles. Additionally, the portal facilitates access for the unrepresented defendants, who can now track case progress in real time and understand the status of legal proceedings with greater transparency. This ensures that the justice system is not only more accessible to practitioners, but also to those who are most affected by its outcomes and whose interests are that their rights are upheld and that justice is delivered fairly. In conclusion, the criminal e-litigation portal offers a host of benefits. It positions us to deliver justice more expeditiously and reliably, while ensuring that all stakeholders in the criminal justice system, from judges to attorneys to the public, are better served. The Antigua and Barbuda Bar Association commends the acting Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court and his team for the continued work in transforming the systems of the court in order to maintain both efficiency and relevance. We therefore embrace this advancement with anticipation of the positive impact it will bring and a commitment to work collaboratively towards the continued improvement of the administration of justice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam President, for those kind words and affirmation, and also giving your credence to the value of the portal. Our next speaker, Mrs. Shannon Jones-Gittens, embarked on her legal journey in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution as Crown Counsel. Through exceptional mentorship and over a decade of hard work, she became Senior Crown Counsel. In November 2022, she was unexpectedly called to serve as Director of Public Prosecution, acting, a position she continues to hold with dedication to this day. I will now invite Mrs. Jones-Gittens to bring brief remarks on the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution.
Thank you. Please allow me to adopt the protocols earlier established. Good morning, everyone. Now, we can all agree that a fundamental marker by which a country, or in this case, a region's development is measured is by the efficiency and effectiveness of its legal system. The Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court has made and continues to make monumental strides towards ensuring that the court adapts to the ever-changing society and world. One of the most notable ways in which the world has been developing is through the advancement of technology, which for the most part makes many aspects of life easier. Therefore, on this occasion, I wish to congratulate His Lordship, the Honorable Acting Chief Justice, and the entire team at the court's headquarters who have played a pivotal role in making this launch of the e-litigation portal for the criminal module in Antigua and Barbuda possible. However, it would be remiss of me to fail to acknowledge our recently retired Chief Justice, Dame Janice Pereira, under whose pioneering leadership that the portal was first launched. This court, which serves tiny island states, continues to walk among giants, yet it leaves indelible footprints that larger jurisdictions are studying and following. Now, in terms of the e-litigation portal, our office has had moderate interaction with the platform, to the extent of appeals and a few civil applications. But we recognize the benefits of the availability of such a tool. The substantial reduction in the requirement to produce as many physical copies of documents allows for the allocation of our budget allowances to other expenses. I've heard it said that the state has unlimited resources, but it does not extend to our office. No. It is well known that one of the persistent issues plaguing the criminal courts is that of delay. It is not an issue confined to our smaller developing states, but our delays are more considerable, which is attributed to the constrained resources that the countries have and that are allocated to the criminal justice system. Persons may be surprised to learn that some of these delays are occasioned by something as simple as paperwork, because as it now exists, files have to be physically prepared, and the more accused persons, the more copies, the more paper, the more ink, the more invoices, the more submissions to Treasury, the more waiting for checks. So just imagine that a person with a very small case file, a matter that could probably take 2 days, they have to wait in the queue. So I trust that the implementation of the portal will significantly reduce delay in that regard. I'm excited about this initiative, not a word we get to use often considering the nature of the work we do. But perhaps it's because I thrive in organization, or that our office in recent times has been struggling to find storage solutions and also tools to manage all criminal prosecutions. And now the court has brought us this gift. At the training that we received in terms of the use of this portal, some of the counsel in our office, when they realized all the information that would be captured in the portal, the first question they asked was, do we still have to make notes about the matters? The answer is yes, of course. But I must offer my commendations to the IT team and the persons responsible for the operation and maintenance of the platform. The system continues to work well after almost 5 years. I am beyond impressed and look forward to the handling of criminal processes by this means. Now, during the training, a member of the team repeatedly stated that this is meant to be a repository for all the documents in a case file. But it will be so much more for us. Almost everything that you need to know about a matter will be right there at our fingertips. And I'm hoping that it will also eliminate the few incidences of case files going missing or just disappearing. Now, the criminal matters, unlike civil ones, are instituted by the state, so that filing will be done on our behalf. It therefore means that the executive arm of the government has a greater responsibility in ensuring that the contributions are made to the court for the maintenance and servicing of this platform so that we can continue to serve the people of Antigua and Barbuda. Of course, the portal on its own will not solve the issue, but it's a step, or might I say a leap, in the right direction towards improving efficiency. The court is modeling the attitude and innovation that all other stakeholders in the criminal justice system should adopt. We cannot have one part of the system moving forward while the others lag behind. Nonetheless, I am confident that the court will continue to make strides, technological and otherwise, to ensure that we have an effective and efficient system. And I'm grateful to be one of the beneficiaries of this product, and I cannot wait to see it in action. Thank you.
I think our DPP deserve another round of applause. So we'll move right along to the executive arm of the state. After graduating from the Goodwill Academy and the Antigua Grammar School, Sir Benjamin attained a Bachelor of Arts degree in Economics and History at the University of the West Indies, where he was awarded the distinguished honor of Student of the Year in 1974. His educational journey then took him to the United States and England, where he earned a law degree from the Polytechnic of Central London. He was eventually called to the Bar of England and Wales in Trinity in 1980. He was enrolled as a solicitor and admitted to the Bar of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court Antigua and Barbuda Circuit on the 12th of January 1981. He has had a long and distinguished professional and legal career and has held the post of Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs since June 2014. Please help me welcome our Attorney General, Sir Benjamin.
Thank you very kindly, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. Ms. Gittins, by acting Director of Public Prosecutions, you're definitely in a position, having demonstrated yourself this morning, of confirmation shortly. But this is a day that the Lord has made. So let us rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning, everyone. My friend, the acting Chief Justice, Mary Michel, many interesting cases before him when he was justice here in Antigua and Barbuda. Very famous of Franklin Campling at the court where a gentleman was held in the prison in situations that they considered inhumane. It was a remarkable judgment justice, relied very heavily on privy counsel when it was stated, despite the conditions present there then, they were not so bad in their eyes to be declared inhumane. That has led a lot of practitioners in the region to check our system when it comes to the prisons. But that is the situation still, Justice Michel, and I know, Chief Justice, that you do all you can in your power to make sure that that matter is addressed. From the point of view of the state, having adopted the protocols established already, and my friends this morning, I must, however, express my concern that judicial officers who ought to be present today are not here. Regrettably, that will be dealt with in due course and in the proper manner that it ought to be dealt with. And those stakeholders who participated in this most innovative system ought to be here this morning as well. Chief Justice, rest assured that that matter will be addressed by this Attorney General shortly. It is always a delight for me to participate in the launch of advancements implemented to improve principally on delivery of justice in our judicial system. This country, as you are aware, is usually in the forefront of innovations designed for that purpose. This may not be the case in this particular situation because other jurisdictions have already implemented this system. But nonetheless, the introduction of this new system is most necessary and timely. I, at this point too, must adopt the sentiments expressed by the Bar President, by the Acting Director of Public Prosecutions, of the obvious benefits that will inure to all stakeholders when the use of this system is implemented. In those circumstances, therefore, it is with great pleasure and a profound sense of accomplishment that I stand before you today to mark a momentous occasion in the digital transformation of our criminal justice system. What is that? The launch of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court criminal module of the e-litigation portal. This launch, I say this morning, signifies far more than a technological upgrade. It represents a resolute step towards a more accessible, efficient, and transparent justice system for all. For too long, the wheels of justice have turned slowly, burdened by paper trails and the procedural complexities. As was stated by the DPP acting, this has been a problem for her department. That will be addressed by this new system. This digital leaps, it allows us to streamline processes, my friends, reduce delays, and enhance access to justice for citizens, legal professionals, and the judiciary alike. But what are the positive benefits of this transformation? Why is this a positive step in the right direction? This module is designed to revolutionize how criminal cases are managed, with benefits that resonate across the entire justice ecosystem. How is that achieved? Firstly, there will be increased efficiency. By migrating to a paperless system, logistical hurdles will be eliminated, delays will be reduced, and professionals will be allowed to focus on the substantive aspects of their case. Secondly, there will be enhanced accessibility. The portal empowers citizens with online access to view case information, court schedules, and relevant documents, fostering transparency and will build public trust. And that's extremely important in our system. Additionally, there will be improved case management in that judges, magistrates, and the court staff will benefit from the streamlined case management tools, enabling faster and more informed decision-making, all in the interest of justice. Finally, and very importantly too, as a member of the executive, there will be reduced cost because this system, this platform, reduces reliance on physical resources, minimizing administrative burdens and, Madam Permanent Secretary, operational costs. This achievement is a testament to the collaborative spirit and unwavering dedication of numerous stakeholders. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, the judiciary, the E-Committee of the Supreme Court, the technological partners, and all those who have worked tirelessly to bring this vision to fruition. What lies ahead? The launch of the criminal module of the e-litigation portal is not only the culmination of the Eastern Caribbean Court's supreme efforts, but rather it is a significant milestone in all stakeholders' ongoing journey. I'm reliably informed by my colleague, learned friend, Mrs. Cecile Hill, the registrar, that we are on the heels of a successful week of a training program organized for judges and staff of the High Court, the magistrates and their staff, the DPP and her staff, and lawyers in her department, and other stakeholders as well. In the circumstances, we remain committed in this jurisdiction to the continuous improvement, incorporating feedback from users, and leveraging technology to further enhance the efficiency and accessibility of our criminal justice system. I urge all stakeholders to be led by you, my friend and colleague, Mr. Robinson, and those at the criminal bar, to do what you can to make full use of this system. We are based upon efficiency, professionalism, trust, and you, sir, will lead that trust for me as being the person in whom I have great faith. In conclusion, I say, my friends, please embrace this transformation. I encourage you to familiarize yourselves with the portal. You must utilize its features and provide valuable feedback to help the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court refine and to improve its functionality. Together, I say, let us harness the power of technology to build a criminal justice system that is truly worthy of its name, a system that's accessible, efficient, transparent, and serves the needs of all. Thank you very dearly, my friends, and a very good morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, AG. Let's give him another round of applause. And now we move from the executive to the judiciary. And our feature address this morning will come from our acting Chief Justice, but before His Lordship takes his place at the podium, I need to tell you a little about His Lordship. His Lordship, the Honorable Justice Maria Michel, is a graduate of the Faculty of Law of the University of the West Indies, Cayville campus, and the U Woodin Law School in Trinidad and Tobago. His Lordship was called to the bar in St. Lucia in October 1984 and entered into private practice, initially with a law firm and then from January 1986 on his own. In 1990, his Lordship established the law firm of Michel & Company, which he headed until May 1997, when he discontinued his legal practice to serve in government as a parliamentary representative and a minister of government. In his 13 years in private practice, between 1984 and 1997, his Lordship was very active in civil society, becoming the founding president of the St. Lucia National Youth Council in 1985, president of the St. Lucia Guild of Graduates in 1991, and president of the St. Lucia Bar Association in 1996. His Lordship returned to private practice as an attorney at law in January 2007, but was called to judicial service in February 2009, serving as an acting High Court judge of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court from 1st February to 31st August 2009. On 1st September 2009, his Lordship was appointed as a High Court judge and was elevated to the Court of Appeal in September 2012. On May 5, 2024, his Lordship was appointed as Acting Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court. Please help me welcome his Lordship to the podium.
Thank you, Chairman of Proceedings, Mr. Dwayne Brissett. The Honorable Sister Roy Benjamin, first time I've had the opportunity to refer to you since your knighthood. Attorney General of Antigua and Barbuda and Minister with responsibility for legal affairs, labor, immigration, and the police. Justices of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Honorable Nicola Bayer. Sometimes I have a little uncertainty, Nicola or Nicola, but Nicola is the correct pronunciation. Honorable Anne-Marie Smith, Honorable Jan Drysdale, Honorable Renee Williams, and Honorable Tunde Bakre. Master of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Mr. Carlos Michel, magistrates in attendance, retired High Court Judge, Justice Keith Thom, Chief Registrar of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Mrs. Michelle John Thibbles, Court Administrator of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Mr. Gregory Gerard, Acting Director of Public Prosecutions, who spoke so eloquently today, Ms. Shannon Jones-Gittins, Deputy Registrar of the High Court of Antigua and Barbuda, Mr. Coyote Omad, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Mr. Albert Wade, Court Administrator of the High Court, Ms. Tammy Gage, President of the Bar Association of Antigua and Barbuda, Mrs. Sheris Roberts Thomas, no less articulate this morning, together with other executive members of the Bar Association, other members of the Public and Private Bar of Antigua and Barbuda, other officials of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, both from the court's headquarters in St. Lucia and from the High Court in Antigua and Barbuda, other invited guests and attendees, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Before commencing my substantive address, as I listened to Mr. Brissett, it caused me to just reflect on the fact that today, 4th October, represents exactly 40 years since the day I was called to the bar in St. Lucia on the 4th of October, 1984. But the purpose of our gathering is not to celebrate my 40 years at the bar, but to launch in Antigua and Barbuda the criminal module of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court's e-litigation portal. This means that, as of now, all criminal cases to be tried in the High Court in Antigua and Barbuda must be filed on the e-litigation portal, and court documents in all such cases must also be filed on the portal. Antigua and Barbuda, Mr. Chairman, is the 6th of the 9 member states and territories of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court in which we have implemented the criminal module of the e-litigation portal. The implementation of the criminal module could not have been done simultaneously in all of the 9 member states and territories of the Eastern Caribbean. For various technical reasons, it had to have been done on a country-by-country basis, and really as the countries were ready for implementation. The first of the member states and territories of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, where the criminal module was implemented, is the British Virgin Islands in March of this year. This was followed by Grenada in April, then St. Vincent and the Grenadines in June, St. Lucia in July, Dominica in September, and now Antigua and Barbuda in October. Anguilla will come on board later this month, then St. Kitts Nevis and Montserrat on 4th November and 25th November, respectively. When the remaining 3 launches in Anguilla, St. Kitts Nevis, and Montserrat will have been completed by November this year, Antigua and Barbuda will be the only one of the 9 countries in which civil and criminal cases in the Magistrates' Court will not be filed on the portal. This is as a result of certain legislative provisions outside of the remit of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court. We have, however, been assured that the appropriate legislative amendments should shortly be effected so that civil and criminal matters in the Magistrates' Court in Antigua and Barbuda will soon be filed on the e-litigation portal. In terms of Antigua's implementation history on the e-litigation portal, the civil module of the e-litigation portal was implemented in Antigua and Barbuda on 1st January 2020, encompassing civil cases tried in the High Court. A separate family module was implemented on 20th October 2022 for magisterial proceedings under any family law enactment in Antigua and Barbuda. Then, as I indicated earlier, as of today, all criminal matters in the High Court will be filed on the e-litigation portal. Hopefully, the 4th and final phase of the implementation of the e-litigation portal in Antigua and Barbuda should come on stream, if not later this year, then by early next year. This, when completed, will mark a significant milestone in the ongoing efforts not only to modernize our judiciary, but also to enhance accessibility to justice at all levels within all spheres of the judicial system in the Eastern Caribbean. Mr. Chairman, in order to fully appreciate what is taking place today and to put it into context, I believe that it is necessary to give a synopsis of the e-litigation portal first introduced in the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court nearly 6 years ago in November 2018. Creating and implementing an e-litigation portal for the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court was intended to provide an electronic platform that would circumvent significant challenges associated with the traditional methods of filing and serving court documents. The portal was introduced in the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court in November 2018 when it was implemented first in the British Virgin Islands, encompassing at the time and until March this year only civil cases in the High Court. In the nearly 6 years since it was first implemented, the e-litigation portal has indeed successfully transformed what was a time-consuming and resource-intensive process of filing and serving court documents in civil cases in the Eastern Caribbean into one which is now efficient, cost-effective, transparent, and reliable. Gone are the days when every document to be filed in court proceedings in the High Court had to be printed, and at least 3 copies had to be physically filed at the High Court office between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. on Mondays to Thursdays, and between 8 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. on Fridays. With the introduction of the e-litigation portal, court documents may be filed anywhere, at any time, and on any device. And I mean that literally. So that, for instance, you can file a defense in a High Court civil case in Antigua or submissions in an appeal at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m., whether by a beach in Barbados or a bar in Bermuda, on your cell phone. The challenges associated with the process of personal service have also been obviated in most instances. Once the originating document, such as a claim form or notice of appeal, is personally served by the party instituting the court proceedings, along with an authorization code, the other party or parties to the proceedings have virtually immediate and unrestricted access to the portal. Thereafter, all documents filed on the portal are deemed to have been served on all parties to the case immediately upon their being filed, thus eliminating the need for physical service of documents on litigants and lawyers wherever they may be located, whether in or out of the country. The use of the e-litigation portal, therefore, eliminates, in whole or in part, the tremendous amounts of paper previously used in the filing and conduct of cases, and significantly reduces the cost and frustration to litigants on both sides of a dispute, which might previously have been considered to be an inevitable and unavoidable feature of the court process. As I said earlier, Mr. Chairman, electronic filing provides litigants, through their lawyers, with the convenience of filing court documents from anywhere and at any time, without the need to physically travel to the court office. This is particularly beneficial to those who may be residing outside of the country where the proceedings are taking place, or who may retain counsel from outside. Furthermore, the portal has enhanced transparency in the judicial process because the parties have real-time access to all documents filed in their case, as well as to any notices or orders that may be issued by the court. Making the process of the filing and service of court documents electronic has also relieved court staff of much of the difficulty which typically accompanies the management and organization of physical files. Management of high volumes of paper also created serious problems with storage space for court documents, which was exacerbated by our already limited infrastructural resources. The manual handling of documents left room for errors and delays in the court office. Misfiled documents, missing pages, and the physical wear and tear of paper further complicated the process. Paper is also known to attract dust and mold, which have proven to be hazardous to court personnel and chaotic to court offices, with court offices being evacuated or vacated by court staff because of problems with or complaints about dust and mold. The need for judicial officers to transport documents to and from the court added another layer of complexity, sometimes hindering the timely resolution of cases, and sometimes just proving to be extremely inconvenient. This was particularly so with documents filed in the Court of Appeal. At least 6 copies of each document had to be filed in every case, and the 3 judges hearing a matter filed in the Court of Appeal had to carry all of these documents from the court office in St. Lucia to the country where the matter was to be heard. For these trips every Saturday, traveling to or from the country where the appeal court is sitting for the week, the court had to pay thousands of dollars in overweight costs to the airline on which we traveled, and police officers had to be deployed to carry the boxes from aircraft to vehicle, from vehicle to hotel, and from hotel to court when the matter was to be heard. So unseemly did this appear to be at times, especially in territories like the British Virgin Islands, where there were sometimes several boxes for each case. Police officers were known to complain, or at least grumble, about the apparent indignity of police officers in their most formal attire, making 2, 3, or more trips, carrying boxes for the judge to whom they were assigned. These were the norms which all of us, whether on the bench or at the bar, associated with the practice of law in the Eastern Caribbean, had become accustomed to prior to the introduction of the e-litigation portal. Of course, in the digital era, the courts could no longer linger in the outdated modes of doing business, and we simply had to fall in line or be left behind. The Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court needed a more efficient and convenient process for litigants and legal practitioners to interact with the court system. The e-litigation portal, introduced into our court system in 2018, was the vehicle in which we drove from the practices of the past to the procedures of the present. Since its introduction, the portal has provided the residents of the states and territories served by the court with greater and easier access to justice, making the judicial process more contemporary and more efficient. Court staff have also benefited from a system of handling and managing files which is easier and more efficient. They no longer need to contend with reams of papers in files, folders, and boxes, which inconveniently took up valuable physical storage space and made location of documents cumbersome and burdensome. Court staff are now more efficient in their work because the portal allows for documents to be easily accessible, searchable, and retrievable. The e-litigation portal also makes our court more disaster resilient, a benefit that resonated well with Dominica. Memories of the devastating impact of Hurricane Maria in 2017 have not yet been erased from the minds of Dominicans. As some may recall, the civil court registry in Dominica was completely destroyed. The damage was so significant that to this day, the building housing the registry has not been recommissioned. All court files were lost and had to be reconstructed with the assistance of the bar, so that lawyers had to allow court personnel to use their notes to facilitate the reconstruction of case files. Needless to say, this is a situation which we must make every effort to ensure is never repeated. The e-litigation portal enables us to be resilient against disasters like Hurricane Maria. We also saw how well we were able to navigate a worldwide pandemic because of the initial phases of the e-litigation portal being implemented prior to the lockdown caused by COVID-19. The portal allows for equal resilience and continuity within our judicial system, regardless of whichever other disasters we may face, whether they be earthquakes or volcanic eruptions, although we sincerely hope that we never have to be proven right by the actual experience of severe earthquakes or major volcanic eruptions. Mr. Chairman, with the rollout in Antigua and Barbuda today of this third phase of the implementation of the e-litigation portal, the Criminal Division of the High Court can now experience the modernization and revolutionization which has been in place in civil proceedings in the High Court in Antigua and Barbuda since January 2020. This significant advancement further evidences the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court's resolve to leverage technology to improve the efficiency, accessibility, and transparency of our judicial processes, and to expand the reach and access of our court system in keeping with our dedication to addressing sensitive and critical areas in the administration of justice with the utmost precision and care. The fourth phase of the implementation of the e-litigation portal in Antigua and Barbuda will take place within the next few months when we incorporate the magistracy into the portal to enable the magistrates' courts in Antigua and Barbuda to employ the e-litigation portal to manage all case types, including civil, criminal, and traffic cases in the magistrate court. When this final phase will have been completed in Antigua and Barbuda, and the criminal module will have been rolled out in St. Kitts, Nevis, Anguilla, and Montserrat, together with the planned simultaneous incorporation of the magistracy in the e-litigation portal in these three countries, our focus will shift toward the complete transition of all matters from the Judicial Enforcement Management System, GEMS, which was the platform used by the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court since 2001 in the management of civil cases, to the e-litigation portal, and from paper-based filing to electronic filing. This transition will signify a leap towards a more modern, efficient, and accessible court system which meets the contemporary needs of our society while preserving and maintaining the integrity of our judiciary and court system as a whole. On that note, Mr. Chairman, I want to take this opportunity to strongly encourage the lawyers in Antigua and Barbuda to migrate all their matters to the e-litigation portal. It is critical that we move forward with a unified system of case management for the greater efficiency of our court system in general and of our judiciary in particular. And having all matters on the portal will assist us in achieving this. The court has provided guidelines for counsel to migrate their matters. These guidelines can be found on the court's website in a document titled the E-Litigation Portal Guidelines. And I want to urge lawyers in Antigua and Barbuda to make use of the guidelines and migrate your matters to the e-litigation portal with some urgency. It will be very unfortunate, to put it very mildly, for the court to invest millions of dollars and many man-hours in the upgrade of the technology for use in the court system, only for some lawyers to frustrate its full utilization by refusing or hesitating to come on board the fast-moving vehicle of modern court technology. It is to be noted, Mr. Chairman, that the Court of Appeal intends to launch an initiative during this third and final phase of the law year, which will facilitate migration of all appeal matters that are not currently on the portal. The Court of Appeal Registry will provide further information on this in due course. Mr. Chairman, yet further advancements will be made in the realm of digital technology in the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, with the continued rollout of artificial intelligence technology into our court system through the use of a speech-to-text transcription system in the civil division's courtrooms. That should be in the courtrooms where matters in the civil division are conducted. This technology is already in use in Grenada, Dominica, St. Kitts Nevis, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and will soon be introduced in Antigua and Barbuda and the other 4 member states and territories. This cutting-edge technology is anticipated to produce court transcripts with 95% accuracy in nearly real time. The use of this AI technology in our court will guarantee greater accuracy in the production of these critical documents and also eliminate the very significant, sometimes costly, and often embarrassing delays which hamper the pace of hearings and disposition of cases in the court system, particularly appeals, for which transcripts are absolutely necessary, except in a very small percentage of cases. The Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court has also commenced the deployment of a second speech-to-text system utilizing Microsoft Azure AI technology. The system will address the backlog of Liberty audio recordings in some of our courts, yielding text transcripts with up to 80% accuracy. The Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court will greatly benefit from these technological advancements, as they will ensure more timely and accurate production of transcripts and records of proceedings. At this juncture, Mr. Chairman, I wish to extend the collective appreciation of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court family for all of the effort and hard work that has been put into the modernization of our court processes in the last 6 years, both by the staff at the court's headquarters in St. Lucia and the staff at the various court offices in the member states and territories. Your dedication and commitment have been instrumental and have not gone unnoticed. I extend also special thanks to our former Chief Justice, the Right Honorable Dame Janice Pereira, for her leadership in the implementation and expansion of the e-filing system. In closing, I wish to emphasize that these advancements from civil cases to criminal cases and from High Court matters to Magistrates' Court matters represent more than mere technological upgrades. They catapult us further towards a more effective and inclusive justice system and are testament to the court's commitment to increasing the power of technology to enhance the delivery of justice and ensure that every citizen and resident of the Eastern Caribbean has access to a fair and efficient legal process. I implore all of our court users to embrace these advancements of our court processes with optimism and enthusiasm as we continue to evolve as a court that prioritizes responsiveness and efficiency as it does justice and equity. I thank you.
We'll give Chief Justice another round of applause, please.